The Association of Southeast Asian Nations is a community of more than 600 million people living in 10 countries in the most dynamic region of the world. In 2003, ASEAN's regional integration agenda was significantly deepened when ASEAN member states, including the Philippines, adopted the ambitious goal of forming an ASEAN Economic Community by 2015. These goals were crystallized in the highly specific targets set for creating a single market and production base in the ASEAN Economic Community Blueprint of 2007, signed by the heads of the governments of the ASEAN countries. The ASEAN Economic Community shall be the goal of regional economic integration by 2015. AEC envisages the following key characteristics: a single market and production base, a highly competitive economic region, a region of equitable economic development, and a region fully integrated into the global economy.
Being looked up to with excitement, but at the same time, a feeling of concern among, I'm sure, the Filipinos and likewise us in exchange of goods and services within the region. We are talking here also of looking at what comparative advantage areas we should put our strongest bet as far as being able to cope with the demands of the integration.
The Philippines as a nation will also be forced to measure up to be able to be at par with all the other counterparts in Asia. Most, if not all, of our local governments are not still privy to the this concept of the ASEAN integration, economic integration, so that as a local government will in one way or the other be assisted in its economic development. So I believe that we will be benefited by the fact that we will be among those that will be helped to grow up or move up in the economic ladder of development.
It aims to create a single market economy with free movement of goods, services, and investments throughout the ASEAN member nations. The ASEAN Economic Integration is envisioned to establish equitable economic development and reduce poverty and the gap between the rich and the poor.
To achieve the goal of having the ASEAN Economic Community, it is important to prepare the member states for economic integration and cooperation. The ASEAN Economic Community areas of cooperation include human resources development and capacity building, recognition of professional qualifications, closer consultation on macroeconomic and financial policies, trade financing measures, enhanced infrastructure and communications connectivity, development of electronic transactions through e-ASEAN, integrating industries across the region to promote regional sourcing, and enhancing private sector involvement for the building of the AEC. In short, the AEC will transform ASEAN into a region with free movement of goods, services, investment, skilled labor, and freer flow of capital. The challenges in realizing the ASEAN Economic Integration Roadmap: tourism, agribusiness, business streamlining and competitiveness, human resource development and services, identification of safety nets on major sectors and industries, fast-tracking of connective infrastructure projects, financial support for small and medium enterprises, increased competitiveness of TESDA and other educational standards, business corruption and deficiency in global business ethics, reimagining of national budget centered on economic competitiveness, come up with policies to attract foreign direct investments, incentives for key industrial prospects outside of Metro Manila, increase synchronization of the economies of LGUs in the provinces and major cities, general information drive for the public regarding regional integration, trainings and workshops for NGAs, officials, employees, and the LGUs, and the 40% Foreign Ownership Challenge. These challenges can easily be addressed through concerted efforts of the national government, the LGUs, and private sector. Thus, the DILG, together with its partners, has streamlined its initiatives to prepare the LGUs in this integration process by promoting and realizing a transparent, accountable, and participatory governance, rapid, inclusive, and sustained economic growth, poverty reduction and empowerment of the poor and vulnerable, just and lasting peace and the rule of law, and building integrity of the environment and climate change adaptation and mitigation. The clear way to achieve robust and long-term growth needed to create jobs and reduce poverty is through the creation of a business-friendly environment, investing in industries that contribute to rapid economic growth, and investing on the human resource and service sector. LGUs play a pivotal role in providing the right atmosphere and business climate to encourage investors. LGUs need to be accountable, transparent, participative, and effective in local governance. LGUs should be socially protective. LGUs likewise should be environment protective, climate change adaptive, and disaster resilient. And LGUs should always be business-friendly and competitive. The role of the LGUs in realizing the roadmap of the ASEAN Economic Integration. Work closely with the national government in identifying major industries that is vulnerable to regional competition. Study and identify major economic niche and tourism drive that can compete globally.
With how it's done in other areas, to make ourselves ready and be at par with our counterparts in the ASEAN region.
Improve current local transportation and communication infrastructure. Provide technical and financial assistance to local enterprises, farmers, and fisher folks.
Marami kaming dapat paghandaan. Unang-una dahil napakaliit na ng panahon bago ito fully implement by 2015. Una-una, dapat i-streamline namin yung mga processes ng pagkuha ng mga business permits. Siguro kailangan gawin naming shorter and lesser ang mga taong kinakausap. And then also, we have to set up corruption vulnerability preventive mechanisms. Dahil alam naman natin na yan ang ayaw na ayaw ng mga investors.
Conduct trainings and orientation to workforce. And simplify regulatory systems of the government.
Getting people involved into the boat, being able to ride into a program. So, because you are clear with that, then universities and colleges must align their courses towards where your province is moving, because most likely investments on education will be there, investments on agriculture will be there, investments in ICT will be there, investments on tourism will be there, investments in agribusiness will be there.
Are we ready for the ASEAN Economic Integration?
We are moving towards getting ready.
As a local government, we would appreciate it very much that we will be given orientation, especially so by the Local Government Academy and the Department of the Interior and Local Governments, so that every local government will be able to know what and how they should be preparing their local governments, so that they will be able to help the country as a whole to prepare for this integration. And I think the fact that very important, so that they can play their part, as I said, in the preparation, so that they will be part of the moving forward of the country towards that economic integration in Asia.
Coordination between the national government agencies and the local government units, so that all the gaps will be filled. So everybody's grading the local government units. There are competitions for the local government units, and then there are these watchdogs over local government units. But there should also be a mechanism wherein the local government units themselves can also grade the performances of national government agencies. There should be a mechanism to put in a more closer relationship and collaboration between the national government agencies and the local government agencies. Nakakatakot, siyempre, na magdadagsaan ng produkto, ng services na manggagaling sa iba't ibang ASEAN nations. Pero alalahanin natin na once in our history, tayo yung nangunguna nga sa Asia, hindi lang sa ASEAN. Yung competitiveness natin, huwag tayong manatili sa mediocrity, kundi panahon na para maging globally competitive tayo.
In creating the so-called business-friendly environment, we really need to explore other avenues by which we can make the lives of our investors, of our businessmen, more easier. 99.6% pala of our businesses are SMEs. They are really at the LGUs, most of them. Maliliit, ngunit marami. Paano natin sila palakihin? Malaking tulong ang may bigay ng LGU. Again, this is a matter that we need to address in the way we do our planning. Being competitive also means that we take care of those who are in our communities. In the past, we're saying na yung being competitive, sapat na yung regulatory systems. And we thank the LGUs who are here today for helping out streamline your business permits. Marami pa tayong dapat gawin. The stage is set for moving forward and making sure that our communities are prepared for this integration. ASEAN integration is not something that we should be afraid of, but in fact, we have to maximize its opportunities.
600 million people, 10 nations, 1 ASEAN community, 1 goal. Let us be one with the ASEAN Economic Community. Boost our country's investments, increase job creations for Filipinos, and increase our incomes. Let us work together for the ASEAN Economic Integration 2015.